Welcome to From Me to We, where good people become great teams. Small shifts, big wins, and a culture built from the ground up.
The cafeteria was closing, chairs half pushed in, trays scattered, lights humming the way only tired fluorescent bulbs can. Most people had already gone home. No one would have noticed the napkins on the floor or the spill that had dried sticky under the soda machine. No one but Jordan. Jordan wasn't a manager, not the star employee, not even on shift anymore. He was 19, working part-time, and he had every reason to walk past it. "Not my problem," he could have said, and nobody would have blamed him. But instead, he bent down, grabbed the napkins, wiped the table, pushed the chairs back in place. He refilled the ice bin so tomorrow's crew wouldn't start behind. Then he turned the lights off and left. The next morning, the crew walked in expecting the usual mess. Instead, the space was ready. One of them said out loud, "Who did this?" Nobody answered, but everyone felt it. And without a word, something started to change. Each shift noticed more chairs pushed in, more spills cleaned. Within a week, it became the standard. The room felt different. The work felt lighter. The team felt stronger. One small act, no credit, no audience, just a choice to leave it a little better. And it changed everything.
Man, you know me. I live for that stuff. And it's not just a nice story, it's real science. Harvard calls it the progress principle. On days when people make even tiny visible progress, they're happier, more creative, and more productive. And here's the kicker. It doesn't just help the person who did it. It lifts the whole team. That's what Jordan did. He wasn't thinking me, he was thinking we. No paycheck bonus, no applause, just making sure tomorrow's crew didn't start behind. That's the code right there. We before me. And it's contagious. Clear one cluttered shelf before breakfast. Suddenly you bought goodwill for the morning. Log a small fix or shoot a quick, "Hey, snags handled" message. It creates ripples. People see it, feel it, and they start doing it too. That's how a 1% act snowballs into a culture shift.
It's not just theory either. That compounding effect, improve 1% a day, and it's nearly 38 times better after a year. I know, numbers sound huge, but think about it like rolling a snowball. It doesn't become massive because you pushed it once at full speed. It's the everyday push, no matter how small, that makes it unstoppable. I've seen teams, cafes, warehouses, startups, where everyone just sort of silently agrees, fix it once, keep it fixed. And over time, the energy in the room rises. Suddenly, people want to outserve each other and build on each other's improvements. That's culture right there.
And I think the key is nobody's waiting for permission. Doesn't matter your title or shift or whatever. The attitude is, if I can make this 1% better, I'm going to do it. Sometimes it's as ordinary as sharpening pencils before anyone else gets in, or sending that 2-minute, "Hey, here's what I noticed, here's the fix, cool if we keep it rolling" note. You make that visible. Because when progress is visible, it's contagious, like little winds throw sparks.
That's the piece people miss. They think improvement means a new process or a big budget rollout, but 90% is just see it, fix it, move on. The daily extra mile you go for the team, then you got culture, not just rules. All right, Miles, I gotta bring you in on the cycling thing. Before Dave Brailsford took over, British cycling was basically a ghost. Then he rolls out this philosophy. Get 1% better in 100 different areas. Doesn't matter if it's seat comfort, tire pressure, how they sleep, even teaching riders how to wash their hands to avoid colds. Nothing was too small. Stack all those little upgrades, and suddenly they went from no names to winning tours and Olympic gold. What does that look like outside of sports, in the real world?
Yeah, it's not about one big breakthrough. It's about permanent gains that stick. Think of a restaurant team deciding to reorganize their prep stations so the most used tools are always in the top drawer. Saves seconds, every shift, forever. Or an office where someone builds a clean template that wipes out the usual formatting headaches. Every report after that gets easier. Or a construction crew that paints and labels every tool outline on the wall. No more wasted time hunting. These aren't heroic one-offs. They're like adjusting the seat angle or finding the perfect pillow. Small, lasting upgrades that compound. Do 100 of those, and suddenly the whole team feels faster, smoother, stronger. That's the real magic of marginal gains.
Exactly. And what ties it all together is stewardship. That's what Toyota nails with their Andon system. Any worker on any line can pull the cord if they see a problem. No blame, no shame, just fix or flag it so the team doesn't stumble later. That's ownership. And it's the same mindset the All Blacks talk about. You don't own the jersey, you care for it, strengthen it, and pass it on. Whether it's a cycling team tweaking tire pressure, a factory worker pulling the cord, or a teammate cleaning up a process, it's the same code. Leave it better than you found it.
Can we get nerdy for a second? Because all these examples share the same DNA. Toyota's Andon system. Anybody can stop the line to fix a problem. British cycling. They were relentless about being 1% better in 100 little ways. It's the same mindset. People roll their eyes and say, that's too small to matter. But think about it. A loose shoelace is tiny too until you trip on it. The small stuff adds up, and it decides whether your team stumbles or flies.
And you know, at Google, their whole Project Aristotle thing, what mattered most for top teams wasn't skill set, it was psychological safety. That's just fancy speak for, I can say when something's messed up and nobody's going to jump down my throat. I got a team of tech folks, and I'll see a junior coder say, hey, I think there's a bug. Should we stop the sprint? And the lead says, thank you, let's look. That's what keeps mistakes minor and trust sky high. Tyson, he's on my crew, he says every shift, fix or flag, don't walk past it. And that's what sharp crews do.
It's everywhere if you look for it. I had a retail job. There was this one woman, Rosa. She would always say, leave no loose ends. So at the end of closing, she straightens the shelves, checks the back tags, leaves a note for the opener, tomorrow, floors tidier than today. And someone else started doing it. Stealth legacy, right? It's not about applause, just pride in your wake.
And it never seems like much until you stack a year's worth. That's when people come back around and say, man, this whole place runs smoother than last fall.
Let's get painfully practical for a second. Doesn't matter if you're in IT, creative, food service, wherever, you can do these leave it better moves. An IT pro adds 3 screenshot tips to a help desk auto reply. That saves dozens of back and forth emails. Or a designer drops a simple naming guide in the project folder, and suddenly nobody's hunting through files called final, really final. Those are the tiny things that save teams hours. Miles, how do you get behaviors like that to actually stick?
Here's the quick science, but I'll keep it human. Behavior sticks when 3 things line up. You want to do it, you can do it, and something reminds you. That's it. The mistake people make? They start too big. Don't. Start small. Tie it to something you already do. Like every time you log in, you follow up with a client, or every time you shut down, you reset your space. And here's the part that feels weird. Celebrate it right away. Smile, fist pump, whatever. Feels goofy, but it trains your brain. On average, it takes about 2 months before a habit runs on autopilot. The first weeks will feel clunky. That's normal. Just keep showing up for the rep.
I'll do a restaurant server version. First step when you clock in, check your side station. Silverware rolled, condiments filled, water pitchers ready. Before you leave, reset it so the next shift walks into the same setup, or better. No big speeches, just 1% better. Sometimes I'll top off the ketchup bottles or pre-roll an extra handful of silverware. If you want to measure progress, ask 3 things. Did we save minutes during the rush? Did the same snag come back? Or did we fix it for good? And did the team feel lighter because of it?
All right, let's get real simple. Here's your 1% better checklist. Grab one of these tomorrow and try it out. First, finish the handoff. When you wrap something up, make sure the next person knows where it stands. Leave a note, mark it done, or make a phone call so nobody's left guessing. Second, tidy one thing. Restock, relabel, or clear a little space. Doesn't have to be huge. Third, fix once, future-proof it. If you solve a snag, set it up so it never comes back. And fourth, share one tip. Pass along a shortcut or a trick that saves the team time. Now here's the key. Try to do something like this every day. Small moves, steady and consistent. That's what builds momentum. That's how you leave it better.
And don't overthink, just start. That's how culture shifts. It's not some manager's program. It's real people choosing to leave it better. And don't worry about looking perfect. You don't need a title or permission. You just need to show up for that 1%. Start with you, then watch it spread from 1 person to 2 to 10. Imani, want to wrap us up?
Absolutely. This isn't just tips from managers. It's for you, whatever badge you wear. Personal, daily action, not a handbook. Tonight, before bed, ask yourself, did I leave something better than I found it? Then, tomorrow morning, what's the smallest thing I can do to make someone's work easier? That's how it starts. Culture doesn't live in policies. It lives in choices. We want to see your progress posts, fix or flag alerts, marginal gain ideas, micro-teach videos. Share what worked, what bombed, what you're learning. Because we want you to be the best. So don't just nod along, be a doer. That's where the magic is.
That's what this book has been about, the shift from me to we. From waiting on someone else to fix it, to deciding I'll take the first step. From small, everyday choices to a culture that lifts everyone.
And if you remember nothing else, remember this. Teams don't get great because a leader writes a handbook. They get great because ordinary people decide one by one to leave things better than they found them. That's the move. From me to we.
Thank you, everyone. It's been real. See you in the next adventure.
You've been listening to From Me to We. Remember, every great team starts with one brave choice.